Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to Behind the Veil. This is Stephen Williams. They call me the Good Bishop, and I appreciate you coming in tonight. Tonight is going to be a good night, a good thing, a culmination of this whole thing. I've chosen February to be the week that we talk about relationships. We talked about what men want earlier. We talked about what women want. And tonight we're talking about marriages. And so we're talking about lessons that we learned after the I do and what you should and should not do and some other stuff that's going on. And so I appreciate you all joining me tonight. It is going to be some fun. I want you to get your questions. I want you to get your, we got three dynamic couples here tonight, and we're going to ask some questions. We'll talk a little bit later about my situation, why I am sitting here alone. We'll talk about that and talk about just marriage in general. And how some things are just not the way, it's going to be a lot of fun. For those of you who have the idea of how you want to do it, and then for those of you who are thinking about it, for those of you who are already in it, we're looking for all kinds of things. We're here to help you, build you up in your relationships and be able to do what you need to do. But y'all know how we do it. Before I get into that, y'all know I play a song of the week. And now the song of the week comes from my boy, Sonny Miles. Now, this is early Sonny Miles. This ain't the Sonny Miles right now that's singing his songs that has advisory. This is when he first started out. And this is when he was doing what he was doing, getting himself together, learning his low vocal cords. And this is when we loved the innocence of the boy. And the boy was just singing. He was singing. With his heart, he was singing. And this was one of his songs that I thought would be appropriate tonight. And the song is called You. And it talks about how the person, just listen to it. And I think you're going to enjoy it. This is all him, by the way. This is background. This is his lead music, his plays the drums and the bass, and he's doing it all. This song is called You by Sonny Miles. Now, if he's listening and he upset, this is his early work. So y'all don't judge him too harshly. Come on. So here we go. Here it is. Our song of the week is You. It's built on these relationships. Let's go. I hope.
You're everything I see. This happiness can't be this real. You make me feel like 3 times more than me. You're hot in winter when I'm outside. You are my sinner. You're my saint. I don't need no sinners. And I can't wait to tell my folks about you. Yeah. And even when I'm down, I couldn't doubt you. Yeah. You love me now, you love me then, you love me till the very end, it's true. I guess this is my song to you, so why are you so good to me? Yeah. Oh, how you love me tenderly. You and I were meant to be, this chemistry is why I can't stop loving you. Oh, this can't be true. You make me feel so new, yeah. I can't stop singing, oh, 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 oh. I can't stop singing, oh, 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 oh. I can't stop singing, oh, 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 oh. I can't stop singing, oh. Yeah, you, I think you are the one, yeah. I love you till we're done on this earth. You're my last and my first, and the first, and I'll make me feel worse than myself. I need nobody else. Don't need to change myself. Yeah. You are my greatest help. And I can't wait to tell my folks about you. And even when I'm down, I couldn't doubt you. I love you now, I love you then, I love you till the very end is true. I guess this is my song to you. So are you so good to me? Yeah. Oh, how you love me tenderly. You and I were meant to be. This chemistry is why I can't stop loving you. Oh, this can't be true. You make me feel so new. I can't stop singing. Oh, 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 oh. I can't stop singing. Oh, 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 oh. I can't stop singing. Oh, 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 oh. I can't stop singing. Oh, I can't stop singing. Oh, yeah. So why are you so good to me? Oh, how you love me tenderly. You and I were meant to be. This chemistry is why I can't stop loving you. Oh, this can't be true. You make me feel so, you make me feel so, you make me feel so. Why are you so good to me? Yeah. Oh, how you love me tenderly. You and I were meant to be. This chemistry is why I can't stop loving you. Oh, this can't be true. Oh, this can't be true. You make me feel so new.
That's my boy. They call him Sonny Miles. I call him Jordan Chandler. I am so grateful. That boy can sing. Wait a minute, that boy can sing right there. That boy can sing. That boy can sing. He is so awesome. Listen, we are here tonight, and it is going to be an awesome time that we're going to have great conversations tonight. As you can tell, I am here alone, and so because of communication thing that was happening between my wife, is just a little skirmish right before this. And not to tell everything, it's just that this is the measuring sticks of marriage. Sometimes things just happen that way. It is what it is. But tonight, I'm grateful to be able to bring to you 3 other couples, and they are hanging out together. And I want to bring, I ain't even going to try to mess up Hezekiah's last name, but I want to bring on Hezekiah and Lori and Hezekiah and Lori, Tony and Sharice, and Rufus and Alberta. These are the guests for tonight. And I want you to get yourself ready, everybody. Listen, before we go any further, can I thank y'all for hanging out with me on Behind the Veil so that we can talk about marriage and lessons learned and things that we need to learn in our marriage. Welcome, y'all. Everybody say, hey.
Hey.
Hello.
Listen, I appreciate. I'm going to start. We're going to start and just bring up Hezekiah and Lori, and just tell us a little bit about yourselves, just real quick, and then we're going to get into our questions. They've been married
going on 8 years.
Yeah. 8 years. And so bring them up and look, I'm going to start off this way. Where did you all meet? How did you all meet? Let's start right there and let's bring them up, and then I'll come back and get my other guests.
Let's see if you're going to lie. You man.
Let's see if you're going to tell the truth.
Right.
So we met in the grocery store on aisle 5. I went in the grocery store for some dog food, and I came out with a whole husband. So
not a whole one.
A whole husband. So, yeah, so we met in the grocery store. I actually went in the grocery store to get some paper towels, but when I saw him and how fine he was, I was like, let me go find the heaviest thing in here. and look like I'm struggling with it so I can get some help. So it worked.
Not the dog food on aisle 5.
I got a big old bag of dog food. Mind you, my dog was only 20 pounds. I had a small dog, so.
You set him up for the okie doke. And that was 8 years ago, right?
Yeah, that was, well, actually, that was 10 years ago. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay. And you guys live where?
We live in Greensboro.
Greensboro. Y'all, we're going to come back to them. We got to talk some more about them. They doing some wonderful things in their lives. They got some businesses, and they've been celebrated and doing some stuff. And they met my old, the one I used to have a crush on, my celebrity crush was Beyonce. I figured if Beyonce called me, I was leaving everybody. I wasn't going to come no more if she called me, but she ain't called me. So I'm still stuck. All right. Lindsays are here. Lord have mercy. Bring them forth. We want to know, where did you all meet, and how long have you all been together?
You know where we met.
Now go ahead and pick y'all story.
You know what? We broke a rule. We worked together.
We did.
Oh, wow.
We met on the job.
Yes.
And
So we were actually co-workers, and they were co-workers and also really good friends before. So we were co-workers and real good friends.
Now we're best friends.
That's it. So he's the work.
And how long? Wait, I don't even want to know where you work. But did y'all get y'all work done, or was y'all just dating and flirting and carrying on?
You know what? We kept a job. How about that? So
we did pretty good.
Yeah, we worked together, and actually, Tony was kind of stalking me. Like he wasn't stalking me. But one night we had. We were at a party with some friends from work, and he had asked me to go out, and he followed me home, and he was like, "Listen, one shot, let's do the movies." And I was like, "Okay." So we went to the movies, and we have been together ever since. So we have now been together for actually 24 years, and married for 22.
Yeah. So I took the initiative and just went for broke.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to talk to y'all. They got an interesting story of some things that there were circumstances prior to them meeting. And so that's going to be interesting too. I can't wait for you all to tell that story. And our last couple, I got to tell a little bit about this. These are my peoples out here at the Goodwill. And that's my chairman of Deacon Board. And that's the wonderful pastor, Alberta Q-Throw. We thank y'all so much for hanging out with us. Listen, tell me where y'all met. Was it in the cornfield? What was y'all doing?
No, we're in the cornfield, Bishop. We actually always been knowing each other, families, because we went to Goodwill, but we've been knowing each other. But I didn't pay no attention to him, and he paid no attention to me. No. You know, we ran in different circles, but we always was there at church, so that's what we actually saw each other and knew the families and stuff. But it wasn't nothing about dating to get together until older.
But now, how many years has it been?
Well, now it was coming up on 52 years of being married, but we've been together about 55. About 55.
55 years.
We really met
10 years past I was born.
10 years past I was born. We always knew each other's family and everything, and so we didn't because I didn't have no clue that I was gonna marry somebody in my own church. You never want to marry somebody in your own church. It got to be somebody outside, know your family and all of that stuff. It didn't happen quite that way.
I get it. We having some audio stuff, so bring everybody back in. These are our couples tonight, amen. And we thank God for them: Hezekiah and Lori and Tony and Cherise and Rufus and Alberta. Oh Lord, we done lost everybody. So it's on me tonight. I guess I got to figure this out tonight. Let's see if I can bring us all back in and bring us all up. Here we go. I done lost Camille gone. Lord Jesus, everybody gone. Everybody. I got to run this by myself. Lord Jesus, thank you all so much for coming. I know everybody wants to know. Everybody wants to know so many things tonight, and I sent you all. People sent me more questions since the questions that I sent y'all. All right. So outside of the 5-pound bag, Hezekiah, like what was the thing that was attractive to each other? I'll start with the young couple since they 8 years in, and then we'll get on around the circle. We're going to keep going around the circle that way.
So my mom cringes every time I say this, but I'm gonna be honest, it was the booty for me. Like I came around the corner at the grocery store. He had a nice butt. Like, I mean, because like I literally had to make like a quick decision here. Like, like this ain't even the store I shop in. So it's like I'm gonna see him, and it's like it was definitely a physical attraction for me at first. He had a nice smile, he had a nice butt, a nice physique, and so I was like, okay, it's got to be something good inside this package. So it's like it was definitely that's what caught my eye. So
And yeah, I noticed her as well. Once we got to know each other, she had a really, really good personality. So that's what done it for me. For us to get closer.
Lord have mercy. Not on aisle 5. All right, Sharice. All right, Sharice and Tony. What was it? Outside of y'all wasn't doing no work.
I think just like the young couple at first, it was that physical attraction. Hey, she was sexy, gorgeous, and beautiful.
Yes.
So hey, what you noticing? That right there was the initial attraction. But like we hung out with a group of friends, so I got to know her really well. Outside of that attraction, I don't know that she was she has a powerful drive. She's driven, and she has a natural way with people, and she's a good person, and I like that. And just overall stuff, I just learned to just enjoy and love that, and it just grew after we got married. But outside of the physical attraction at first, that was the biggest thing.
He owned it tonight, Bishop.
I mean, he owned it tonight.
He is on it. I think for us, one of the things about Tony was, Tony used to sing all the time, Bishop. So we used to call him Luther Vandross at work.
Luther, not little Luther.
Oh, yes. So we'd be like, Luther. So my friends would be like, girl, Luther. It's you. And I was like, no. But, sure enough, Luther had, he was on a mission. And so he would come through singing, and he just reeled me right on in. Tony's just such a personality. But he's such a gentleman. And that was the thing. Tony is such a gentleman. He knew exactly what to say, how to say it, what to do, how to do it. He knew, and he really knew. As we started dating, I knew he knew how to treat me as a lady. He was so gentle and kind with me, and so he just reeled me on in.
All right, we got some audio stuff, so y'all work with us. I don't know what's going on. We pulling from everybody tonight, so I don't know. It could be any number of things, internet, microphones, but we're gonna work through it. All right. Now the cute is, y'all met at church. Y'all better have met at the altar singing in the choir. Y'all better be in the choir. Choir. Oh God.
But my brother said always so we always had rooms and different things like that. But what attracted me
I'm gonna fix them. Hold on, Pastor Alberta, do me a huge favor. Call my 577 number.
Okay.
Just call my 577 number.
Okay.
We're gonna fix it. Don't worry about it. Yeah, you got it. Just call that number.
Yes, sir, Bishop. We need that knowledge. We need that knowledge right there. We need that 50-year knowledge. So get them fixed.
Yes. You know I need
it. Y'all in this together. We might have come over on different ships, but we all in the same boat.
I'm gonna need this tonight. because we got to hear them.
I'm calling you. Can you hear me? I'm calling you 577 number.
Okay. I guess I ain't asking. Hold on a second. Oh, we're going to get this right tonight because I really want to hear what you all are saying, because I think you guys have so much good information, and we need that information. 51 years is a lot of time. It's a good little time. And put your phone right in between you. Let's see if we can get this.
Okay, you got us.
All right, turn your stuff down. Turn your stuff completely off. Turn your volume on your iPad and all that good stuff. Just mute it. Mute it.
Okay. Well, I got my mic muted on the thing.
Yep, keep turning it down. Mute everything. Oh, where there's a will,
there is a way.
There's a way.
You got it?
We got you all. You got it?
Hold up.
And put your phone right between you so we can hear your mouths.
Okay. On this table, my mouth on. There you go. Now. Okay, how about that? How about that? You hear now? Hear me?
We can hear you just fine. We ain't even coming through the system.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Everybody here?
Yep.
Okay.
Can you all hear us?
Good. Yes.
Good. Let's talk just like that. All right. All right.
Okay.
So you all met where?
Well, what attracted me to really Rufus, I have to say, had to be a friend of mine. She was liking him, and he was dating someone else, and she talked about him so much, about how nice he was and how courteous he was, how a gentleman he was. And I thought, are we talking about the same Rufus? I've been knowing this man. I mean, you in the church. Are we talking about the same person? I said, and so we talked about that, and I said, she got to be kidding. And so I stopped and started observing him in the church. He was sweet, and he was a gentleman. And, he wasn't my ideal of an ideal man when, how we do girls. 6 feet or over, basketball player, football player, somewhere in that thing. I wasn't rich at all. Yeah, he came in a 5'5" package. 5'3". 5 foot, yeah. 140 some pounds, 120 some pounds. Mm-hmm. Didn't look nothing like I thought it was gonna look. And this was the sweetest man, the kindest. And I'm saying, I had watched my sisters and stuff go through some relationships, my older sisters, that I always said I never really looked for a certain man, but I found out from them and their relationship what I didn't want. And I found in him the stuff that I was looking for. So a package outside wasn't what. I got tickled at your girls last week talking about it had to be this and had to be that and all of that stuff. I hollered. I said, sometimes they don't come in what you think they all look like. Right. I don't know what attracted him to me. I guess I was just so sweet and nice. He just
really? Is that what you gonna say? Really? Go ahead, D.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say to help him out. No, I worked in the grocery store after I got out of school, and I was a party person, and I went to a party one time, and everybody had a man, all the girls had a man, and all the men had a woman except Alberta. She was by herself. I was shooting. And I said, look like it's me and you, man. He was lit, y'all. I'm telling you, he was lit.
How lit was he?
I was just too.
He talking about I was the first boy too.
But anyway, we just at that time. So my birthday came up, and I was having a party, but I was at work, and they called me to the phone, and this said, "Happy birthday." But
Girl, this wasn't all fine, but I took my opportunity.
also, hey, you calling me? Lord, that party must have heard, but I didn't know somebody else was talking to her at that time, about me. But anyway, she come on to my party that next Saturday night, and we talked and a little, and somebody asked us, "Well, we going together?" And she told them no. I said, "You say no?" I say no. But it started from there, and here it is 50 years later.
I love it.
Almost
52.
Married, because it started about 3 years before then,
I love it. So now this is I'll start with the younger side. All right. So the idea of marriage. Well, I start with everybody. The idea of marriage versus the actual. What can you say? Like, we have this image of what we say marriage is, and then when you get into the after I do, what was the difference? Like what did you find surprising? That was one of the questions that I had on here. What surprised you the most about the actual marriage itself? After you finish with the 5-pound bags and looking at his butt and thinking I want to be married and at the job, I mean, what happened? What was surprising to you? Because I had an image, right? I mean, all of us grow up with this image of what marriage is supposed to be. Now, I can't wait. We're going to do it, and we're going to have fun doing it all the time. Da, 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 da. I can't wait to get hold of them. I can't wait to spend time with them.
I guess it depends on you.
Go ahead, Hezekiah.
I guess for me, honestly, I think it depends. See, I'm a realist for the most part. So I guess it depends on how you was brought up and what you saw coming up as well. So both my parents, they're together, still together. But I saw the happy times, I saw the arguments and everything like that. So for me, I knew that even being married, it's work, and I understand. I know you're gonna have your ups and downs, but of course, I want to have a good time in my marriage as well. So, I mean, for the most part, I think, once you get together and start to go through things, you learn more and, get some more surprises and realize that it's a little harder than what you thought it was going to be.
And I think, like he said, both of our parents have been married going on more than 30 years. Mm-hmm. So, for me, I think the reality check for me was that you're very much a part of a team when you get married. And I guess like growing up as a little girl, like I always saw, how good my dad took care of my mom. And so like I'm 36 and to this day I've never seen her pump gas. My dad has always done that for her. So
the gas pump.
Yeah, I've never seen her hand touch a gas pump for my whole life. So I guess for me, I thought like I was gonna be like some like princess when I got married and have this man to like cater to my every need. And he's good to me, but it's still very much teamwork. Like, especially when you start having kids, it's like you're a team and you just, it's like we can't be. It's just like basketball. We can't be, fighting against each other if we want to win, if we want to score. Like you pass me the ball, I pass you the ball, you dunk, I shoot, So that was the reality check for me, that it's not just like me floating and just living. It's a team.
Absolutely.
That's good.
Yeah. That's real good. I think for us, so my mom was a single parent. Tony's parents been married for 50 years. So we had two totally different perspectives. I was not the little girl that dreamt about being the princess or somebody come to me, wake up and they take care of me. I had spent a lot of time taking care of myself. So I was very independent because I had watched my mom be just that. The only example I had really had were my grandparents. And honestly, some days I wasn't even sure they liked each other that much. They just kind of hung in there. That's what people did back then. But I used to look at them as marriage. But at the end of the day, they were always there for each other. There was certainly an understanding. If one needed the other, you know, they were going to show up, you know. But in my head, there were certain responsibilities that a man had and certain responsibilities that a woman has. Like, I mean, the trash could be spilling over the trash, and I'm going to step over it because it's his job to take the trash out, right? But for him, it was like, you've been home all day and you just going to trash all out in the floor. And so, so we had to wait a minute, what were our expectations? And that's one of the things we tell people that question us is make sure you talk about what you expect. They have these what to expect when you're pregnant, what
That's true.
first year, what do you expect in marriage? And so we tell people all the time, talk about your expectations. What the husband is, because you might think the other person sees it as you do and get in this thing and you fuss about trash because it's spilling over in the floor. But because we were with my grandparents so much, what had to do that the girls didn't do, and that's what was in my head. You know, we quickly realized that we had to adjust, and so we did. We discussed it, we figured it out, and so now, like you said, we're a team. We realized that, you know, it's all about. And look, I'm no athlete, so I ain't who's supposed to dunk, who's supposed to do what. I was just like, listen, if you got the ball, you can shoot. I was, you know, that I kind of thought. So for us, I think that was the thing. Just figure out what you expect from a husband and from a wife point of view.
Right.
What about you?
Skill in that, you know, same thing here.
We seem to have lost them.
Parents are together, watching them, role models. But, you know, things I can say to, you know, kind of add to that is we also understood that, you know, we grew up in different environments and whatnot. So, you know, you have that expectation of one another, but at the same time, at the end of the day, you got to be able to, you know, be able to embrace and appreciate each other's differences as well.
Right.
Right.
You know,
right.
Know that that person's going to be that person, you know, throughout after marriage and whatnot. And, you know, there's going to be some change. Differences and personalities that's going to change, you know, in time. But at the end of the day, don't spend your time trying to change them until just let them evolve into the marriage. So yeah, that's,
let them evolve.
Yes,
because
and
you have to. Because I call marriage the real crossroad. Marriage to me is like, and I'll come to the Q-throughs. Marriage to me is the real crossroad. It reminds me so much of salvation. Right. In this context. Hey, y'all, the Q-throughs, turn your apparatus down because I'm turning y'all up. So turn our Facebook down. But it is the real crossroad. It's like salvation because you have to make a decision every day, all day. Like you just can't be saved one day and then decide, okay, that's it. No, you have to be that way. Even in marriage, like you got to wake up that day and say, okay, I don't even like you today, but I'm gonna be married today. You know, you have to decide every single minute of every single day. And so to the Q-throughs, what happened with you guys? Y'all still on the line, ain't you? Y'all didn't hang up the phone, did you?
We still on the line, but we can't hear nothing anybody else said but you.
Don't worry about it. Y'all just talk to me. We'll be all right.
Y'all can hear us, Cassie?
Yes, we can hear you fine.
Okay, they hear us. All right. Well, I guess illusions of marriage is because I got married so young. Probably younger than you girls. I was 18 and coming around my mama's house, I'm thinking, you know, what in my mind, what marriage and stuff ought to be. But I really didn't go with it in a lot of preconceived notions. But I learned the hardest part is, like you're talking about the roles of what we do and what he does. My hardest thing was communicating because I thought he's supposed to know what I'm feeling. and know what I was doing, and I would get mad at him because he didn't understand where I was going because I didn't talk with him, and he didn't really talk to me. So we learned early in our marriage that we got to talk to each other.
I found out that marriage was work. I didn't realize it was as much work as it was. It was work, work, work all the time. Like she said, communication was the best thing. We didn't communicate. When she got mad at me, I didn't fuss. I'm not a fusser. I get in my truck and leave. When I come back, I hope she's calmed down enough so we could sit down and talk.
I was even madder. I was worse when he got back because he left me there mad and would not have a conversation. I was hot and steaming by the time he got back because he left. I was worse when he got back. Bless his heart, and he still is. So when I get back and she's still mad, I ain't talking to her. I was mad because you can say something when you're mad that you can't take back.
That's right.
Once it leaves your mouth, I don't care how much you say I'm sorry. That's done left your mouth and hurt somebody.
Yeah.
And so I told her that one time, and she was learning to drive my car. I had a 69 Chevelle, and she was learning to drive my car, and she ran it off down the bank. And she was so sorry. But after that, I messed around and said to her, people say they're sorry. Sorry didn't do it, you done it, And not thinking that she done run my car down the bank, she said, "Oh, you still mad at me for that? For what? I mean, I wasn't talking about her,
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. You talking about me.
But, then I found out I done hurt her. I mean, that come out my mouth, and how do I take it back? I say, I'm sorry, but we always try not to go to bed mad at each other. We always try to solve the problem one way or another before we went to bed because we don't know what the night's going to bring.
Or before we left each other.
Yeah, or before we left.
Yeah, even afterwards. I worked at night, he worked at day. I'd get up and we'd be at a tiff about something, not really mad. I'm leaving and on the way to work. I'm calling him back and say, okay, we're going to talk about this thing before I get to work. You're not going to bed tonight. I'm not going to work without us at least. I'm trying to understand. We're sorry.
Now, is that everybody's? Is that everybody's viewpoint that you try not to go to bed angry? Is that everybody's viewpoint? Because I think I messed that up a few nights in my.
I think that's the goal.
Well, we can learn this.
That's the goal.
Yeah, that's our viewpoint.
That's our viewpoint. That's a lot of ways that we solved everything by communication. And we communicated before we went to bed or before we leave each other.
I got you.
And try to keep everything on above board, from the get-go.
Yeah. And you were going to say something, Hezekiah?
I always like to give her an opportunity to go with me wherever I go. So we don't have a boys' night out or a girls' night out because when you get married, that's brought us together as one. Right. So why do we have to separate to have a good time?
Oh, Lord. Uh-oh. It's on now.
And one thing I really like that she said, one thing I really like was that, even if you do have an argument, you call each other back or you talk it out. I got upset at him this morning over something petty, like real dumb. Like I told him
always something.
Task I asked him to do before he left the house this morning. And so I think in my mind sometimes I was like, oh, he ain't gonna do it, he ain't gonna remember. So then I called him this morning and I was like, did you da 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 da? And he was just like, well, no. But in my mind, I thought he'd already left the house, so I automatically got upset and I hung up the phone. I was just like, ugh, you know. So then he called me back and he was just like, well, you didn't let me finish. I'm still here. I just hadn't done it yet. I'm going to do it. So I felt stupid then for getting upset because I was just like, oh, I didn't even think to ask if he was still home. So, but I think that's the thing, like always coming back to each other, always reconnecting, never being too mad, too proud, or say sorry if you messed up. Like, cause like, I just look at the end of the day, like we're not going nowhere. So it's like if we better work. It takes too much energy to be upset. It takes way too much energy to be upset. So
that's true.
And see the thing. Oh, I'm sorry. See the thing for me, I'm big. See me personally, I'm big on communication. But the thing about it is, I think that really helps relationships. Both persons have to be on that same page.
Yeah.
Because the biggest part of solving a lot of problems or getting to know and understand people, you got to be transparent. You got to be transparent with one another and be patient and speak and speak your truth and let a person know how you feel. But more importantly, even when you do that other person needs to be open to that and be patient and be able to receive what you're saying. So that's my thoughts.
Absolutely. And Bishop, one of the things for us is we decided a long time ago somebody got to be willing to laugh. Like she just said, we ain't going nowhere. So we decided that there is nothing so serious. It's not laughing at the person, but there is nothing so serious that one of us can. So we have just gotten to a place where we find something in the midst of our anger to just laugh about so that we can keep moving. After 22 years, like she just said, ain't nobody going nowhere. It's going to take a whole lot more work. So we just find a reason to laugh and just press forward. We used to try to hold, I ain't going to be mad. I might not let the sun go down on my anger, but I can be upset. I'm frustrated.
Yeah, she might let it roll over to the next day, so forth. But we try to realize and do that too, because like I said, you never know what's gonna happen tomorrow. Everybody knows it's certainly not promised. So we try not to let sunset on our anger or anything like that, and we try to make up. But sometimes we agree to say hey, we're gonna say I love you, but we get our little space or whatever, and that love you might just mean well, good night, have a good night, and whatnot. But at the end of the day, you want to try to just work it out, because like I said, it's a team. We ain't going nowhere. We're gonna stick and stay. So we just try to find a way to work things out.
Absolutely.
That has truly worked for us over the years.
And Bishop, quickly, I would say this too. When I knew we had grown in this space was Tony prays over us every morning. Well, early in marriage, if he was married, wasn't no prayer going up when we went out the door. And I'm like, this ain't gonna break. But when he started,
I still was praying. It's been a silent prayer, but I still pray.
Silent prayer, yeah. I do it.
But when he grabbed me one morning after we had been frustrated with each other the night before, and he just started praying, it wasn't, "Come here, baby, let me hold." He just grabbed my hand and grabbed London's hand, praying. And so that let me know, okay, look, we are doing something right here. We are growing. We're getting to a better space. That's one of the things for us that has been really good. It's just consistency, particularly when it comes to our relationship with Christ.
We just realized that we couldn't make it without him in our lives. And, had it not been for him, we wouldn't be this far anyway. So
yeah,
that's the thing that's keeping us.
Yeah. One of the things that was surprising for me is, and I don't know where you guys are in this, is that it really is not a lot of time. And what I mean by that is by the time you get up, let's say you got to be at work at 7:30, 8 o'clock, right? So you go to bed 10:30, 11 o'clock, all right? So you wake up in the morning, you brushing your teeth together, da-da-da-da. Now, both of you, if you both work in the daytime, and the Q-Throughs had an interesting thing because one worked days, one worked nights. And so one of the things I learned out, by the time you go through the whole day, then you factor in a child at the end of the day. And if you are like people like myself, You know, you have music and ministry after thing. By the time you get home, man, you ain't got but about a 2-hour window. If that much, you got about a 2-hour window for each other. And I think one of the surprising things is that there's not as much time as it was when you're dating. You know, you get a lot of time with each other when you're dating, but when you get ready to get married, that cycle and that hustle and that bustle, and if you're not careful, man, it'll be weeks before you have a really good conversation, because it's not, you just don't have, life just keeps on kicking you, and you got to keep on paying them bills. And if you like the Lindsays, then you ain't working anyway at work. So I guess they were meeting in the break room and stuff like that.
But Bishop, Bishop, we learned through that time that every little bit of minute we had, we really took that time to talk or get to know each other. We valued the time we had in the car with each other, with talking, or in any parts of the time, or while we was in the kitchen cooking, or we was helping each other out in the house. We valued that time. I mean, you know, I'm not the typical wife or woman that when he's doing something out in the yard and I'm not in the house, I will help him. You know, I you know, Rufus had a mowing business for a long time. And so I would kind of pitch in there and help when the boys were doing it. But I don't do any mowing because he was too particular. You know, I couldn't mow it like he wanted me to do it. So I let him go and do what he needed to do. He done his thing. But I'll tell you what, I've cut down trees. I mean, I was with him. I shared that time. He really got me interested in, and I learned that I married him, and what he was interested in, I found myself, okay, maybe I need to be interested. And he was into racing for a long time. And we would, you know, when we worked at Reynolds, we all got the free tickets to go down to the big races. And so I went to the race with him. But I enjoyed each other. And we learned, I mean, you know, to be with each other. And it wasn't just all one-sided. I mean, he was with me doing some things. So we learned to take that little time. You're right. It's a short span of time, especially with us working opposite shifts.
Right. Go ahead, Lord.
I always tell people, we stayed married so long because we didn't have time enough to get mad. We got to go on and get mad, get it over with, make up, and go on, because it was time for one of us to go to work, go to sleep.
That's hilarious. Go ahead, Lori.
We were watching, I forget what comedian it was, but they were just talking about how, like, the reason why the older generation, why the marriages lasted longer, was because they actually had time to miss each other. They couldn't text each other. They couldn't call each other at work, you know, all of that. Like now it's just like, hey, what you doing? You know, you can kind of like talk on the phone while you work or like text throughout the day. So, and I will say this, like on the days that he's like traveling for work or really busy, it's like you really do, like you can't wait to get home to them so you can tell them about your day, or you know, just you really do miss them when you can't talk to them like that. So I just thought that was funny when you were just talking about how, you know, like you don't have much time, and you really don't. So
it's not as much time. That was, you know, one of the factors, one of the things that is delusional, if you will, about the marriage thing. You know, you spend all this time together, getting to know each other. You're dating, you're hanging out, you're enjoying yourself. And then when you get married, you realize, oh my God, I got to pay these bills. I got to do something. I got to pay these bills. I got to go to work. I got to do that. I got to do this, that, and the other. Let me ask. So who's the cook? Who's the cook? I got two questions. Who's the cook? And then who spends and who saves? Every couple got.
Well, we both cook.
Okay.
We both cook, but I'm a better cook.
You a better cook.
I'm a better cook.
He's a better cook.
We were dating. He was flambeing and dicing and slicing and all of that stuff. And then when we got married, he let me have it.
Hey, we ran out of time. I ran out of time.
Ran out of time. Now, what about y'all, Lindsay? Which one? Which
I was
one?
gonna say the same thing. I think I do more cook. He is a better cook because he's very creative.
Oh, all the men are
More, he cooks better.
Hey,
that ain't how that is.
She has,
here.
and truly, she has grown. She is really grown, though.
That's not the testimony. That's not the testimony over here. I'm just not really learning. I'm just not learning how to
when I got
saute that
married,
stuff.
I didn't know how to cook. I had to learn after we had gotten married to cook some things. I mean, I had older sisters that done all the cooking. I cleaned the house and took care of all of that, but I didn't have to do it. So bless his heart. His mama told him. She had 5 boys. She taught all of them how to cook. Well, she didn't teach him.
All right.
She taught them how to cook.
All right.
As far as saving, we talked about that today, and I think sometimes it's been times where I saved a little better than he did, and he spent more. Especially when he had his lawn business. I'd go down in his shop. He got a shop downstairs in the basement, and I said, "Where'd that come from?" "Oh, it's been down here." And I thought, no, it hadn't been down here. And then he'd be doing something. I said, "What you get that for?" "Well, somebody wanted me to do this. I had to do this, so I had to go buy it." I had no idea he done bought all this stuff, and I'm sitting up here maybe buying a pair of shoes or a dress on sale, half to half off, trying to save some money, and don't want to say nothing. And he got a piece of equipment down there, hundreds of dollars, and I'm going, where'd that come from? And then it kind of reversed, I think, at one other time. Right now, we both, I think in our older years, as we got on, we both savers more so than spenders. We really kind of look at things these days. We don't do a lot of spending.
Now, this is going to put me into a segue, and let me just celebrate Lori and Hezekiah just for a minute, because I want y'all to talk about the business that you all have. Since we talking about savers and spenders, obviously you guys got y'all stuff together because they got some kind of award from Beyonce. They got some kind of award from Beyonce. Some kind of foundation award, something that they did for their business. And so we celebrate y'all. We don't even know what it is. I'm just glad y'all got some Beyonce money. Now tell us about what you do and saving and all that good stuff. And then the Lindsays, we're going to talk about whether or not y'all got a business together and who does what, when, where, how in that savings and stuff. Go ahead. So here's Cara and Lori. I like y'all.
Yeah, so oh man, I'm gonna try to keep this really short. So we have a business, something we're located downtown Greensboro. We primarily we have an event space, it's a candy shop, and we also do popcorn favors and all kinds of stuff. So we're like 3 stores in one. But a majority of our business came from the event space rentals. People can rent out our facility for showers and birthday parties and all kinds of stuff. So as you know, when COVID hit, that like put everything to a halt. People couldn't gather socially anymore. So, that really stopped our income for a bit. So we had really contemplated closing for a minute, and then we just kind of talked about it, and we decided, in the midst of the pandemic, not to panic, but to pivot.
Right.
So, one of the things that we did, we started selling popcorn. And so we found out there were, a lot of programs here to help small businesses. So, sorry, my little one just got out of bed. He said he was thirsty. So,
yeah, come on, we understand.
But yeah, so we found out there were a lot of programs out there to help small businesses, and one in particular, Beyonce, she has a nonprofit called Be Good, and she does a lot of things to help out in the community. For most of what we saw, it was in her hometown of Houston and in Texas. Right. But once the pandemic hit, she started a program to help Black-owned businesses, and right now she's running a program for people who need housing assistance, who have lost their housing or in jeopardy of losing their housing due to COVID. So yeah, we applied for the grant. We thought the chances of us getting it were the chances of hitting the lottery or winning something on a scratch off, and we found out on New Year's Eve that we were selected to receive financial assistance from her. So we will definitely take some of her money. She's giving
Good
it
job.
up.
Good job, Beyonce. Good job, Beyonce. And send me some of that money, Beyonce, if you see this. Send it. I got a business.
So we're just so thankful, and just even with her and the way the community has kind of wrapped their arms around us to support us through 2020 and beyond.
Well, good. We're gonna get a shout out for that business at the end of it. We're gonna get where people can go to support that. All right.
Yeah.
We got to do now. The Lindsays.
Were they featured on TV?
Were you all featured on TV?
Sure, yeah.
I thought I seen your. Yeah, I thought I seen your face. I think you look familiar. I don't know her, but all right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's what happened when you watch the news together. You sit down and watch the
news. Right, that's right. You got time. Right.
You got some time.
Congratulations.
Congratulations on that. That's good stuff.
And then I think you asked about buck saving. So he's definitely, I feel like he's definitely, he's the spender and the saver. I know that sounds crazy, but I will say this, I pick on him a lot. He has 3 cars, but all of them are paid for. 4 cars, all of them are paid for. So I can't even fuss because, and then all of them are like, none of them are brand new. All of them are like, like 8 years, at least 8 years old, stuff like that. So I mean, he fixes them up, he takes care of them. But sometimes I fuss and I'm like, you can only drive one at one time. But everything he wants to get, he saves for it. Meanwhile, I'm the type where I would like swipe a credit card to just get what I want right then. But he definitely, if he wants something, he'll take his time, save up for it, go pay cash for it, get it, and be done with it. So
that's you my kind of man. Go ahead.
Hey, I believe you work hard, get what you want, but just I still try to be strategic so that way I'm not hurting the household, or you see what I'm saying? So
yeah,
hey, that's how I look at it.
Lindsays, y'all good? Are y'all on mute? Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, we're here. We're
here.
Yeah, they're so wise. So when we started this show, it was horrible. I was the spender. Tony really taught me a lot about. But I was that person. If I got a lump sum, I'm like, oh, you know what? I can pay the rent up for a whole year and not work it out. Like I was the worst. And so then Tony started saying, listen, the key is to keep making money. You can't just you're not gonna continue. So we sat down, we worked it out, we started budgeting. I do still spend the most. I am like straight door the swiper, like I swipe everywhere I go. But we do have an agreement. Like we set a budget and we don't further amount without having a conversation. So that's the way that we keep from upsetting one another. So it's like, listen, we need to talk before you go make the purchase. So that's how we work it out.
That's pretty much right. And I think even in the beginning of this, I will say this, it was probably one of the hardest things to get used to was, our finances. And when we first got married, she actually came to me and said, we don't need these separate accounts anymore since, we got married, we can put all our, money together. And I was like, whoa, hold up. that kind of,
Hezekiah laughing.
Hey, at the time, hey, look,
I told him I don't nothing separate us.
That's kind of fell all the way back on the bed. Like, what the world?
But I mean, I eventually got on the bus. It's been not great, and I thought at the beginning, she was really wanting us, be able to manage our finances. It just come to find out in the end, it just meant she had more to spend. So, just you know what I'm saying? But it's worked out, great. We still have our own little, we set aside to do what we want to do, but today the bulk of ours come into one, and it's so much easier to manage, and we both from it, and we do a great job, keeping it together, because finances can be, a major thing that can tear some marriages apart. And we want to make sure that was something that didn't tear our marriage down.
Got you. Now, here was an interesting question that I avoided earlier. And it says, what advice would you give couples that realize after marriage that they have very different ideas on major issues? Now, that's a very interesting question, because here we are, we're talking about the concept of being married and what happens after you say I do. That was the whole point of, not only celebrating, but things just change. And so have you all found, I don't know about this one, because it's something that I was saying, be able to have that conversation prior to when you have those major issues, or major issues. When I say that, I mean religion,
Kids.
sexual kids, goals, all of that. But if you run into it, did you all run into anything like that you saw a major issue and you needed to have a discussion about it? Anybody want? Lindsay, I see you shaking your head.
Yeah, we did, Bishop. One of the big things for us was children. We didn't know where we were, with kids. Tony had 3 boys, I had 3 bonus sons. He just wasn't sure where his head was with regards to having more children. And I wasn't exactly sure where mine was, but what we decided was, and I think it depends on the couple, because if you have a connection to Christ, then that's where you're going to turn. So we prayed about it. We knew that we were supposed to be together, so we said that our steps would be ordered. And the word says God will give you the desires of your heart. We reached a place where it was something that we both desired, and when we got to that place, here comes Miss London. So God really worked it out for us. But I would also say, don't be afraid to talk to somebody. So this wasn't necessarily a different idea on a major issue, but I lost my mother. We told my mother we were getting married one week, and I lost my mother the next week. And so for the two of us, and I'm child, my mom's a single parent, so it was a real struggle for me, but he didn't understand. And so at that point in our marriage, it was very hard to put himself in my shoes. I had no siblings, so I did not have anyone who as a mother but me. So I had nobody to share those experiences with. So we were bumping heads because he didn't understand what I was feeling. Yeah, why he couldn't get it. Because I was like, I lost my mom, not my goldfish. And so he wanted this sense of normalcy that I really wasn't able to give when I first. All we did was we sat down with our pastor at the time, and we had a conversation. A lot of what he shared with us just really helped pull us through and helped us on some level. So even though he didn't understand, he learned how to be intentional about caring for, and about his selection of words, as we talked about, me missing my mom. So like some major, and it was an unexpected loss on top of that. Right. So I really had a hard time doing that. But don't be scared to talk to someone. And I will tell you, I remember a friend of ours calling me because she saw our car at the church because we were meeting with our pastor. She said, "Oh," I said, "What's going on?" She was like, "Somebody said the perfect couple is in trouble." And I was like, "Wow, there are no perfect couples."
There are no perfect couples. There are just working couples. How about that?
They're just working couples. And if it takes me telling you all the dirt about my marriage for you to know that, then we have no business being friends. So I made it clear to her that there are no perfect couples, and that Tony, in the conversation, we were at the church, but what was happening was nobody's business. That's something that we had to do. We sat down, we talked with our pastor, and we realized that he understood a lot more than he knew he did. And it certainly helped me get to a better place, because the pastor had to say to me too, "Listen, he has lost his most of you. Can't get him to completely get it, but he can be there for you."
Right. And
gotcha. Now,
just kind of just a tad bit. And I say that to especially the brothers out there. I mean, just like you're saying, you know, there's nothing wrong with talking to people. There's nothing wrong with reaching out and getting help. You know, a lot of times as men, we think we too macho and got, you know, too much of this going on that we don't need to talk to anybody, or that it looks awkward for us. You know, especially, you know, people out there that's been doing this thing for a lot longer than we've been doing it. You know, certainly, it's no shame or anything as far as listening to somebody and taking advice from people. So, you know, I encourage my brothers out there that might be listening. There's nothing wrong with asking for some.
Right.
Now I'm getting ready to transition to my older statesmen here, because this next one deals with how to deal with adversity. And I know that they have dealt with adversity in a real way. And so, I mean, they have been through some real adverse situations. And I just wanted to pull on them to ask, you know, how did you all, to the Q3s, how do you all handle adversity? And I guess all of us need to know how to do this. The 8-year-old babies, y'all got a ways to go for the 50. You know, y'all got to get to the 22, right? And 22 got to get to the 52. And so that adversity thing is a beast, and how to actually handle the adversity, and what are some of the things that we can do to help us. I don't know if y'all want to tell it, if y'all want me to tell it, because I mean,
we can tell it.
I know y'all can, because y'all was there.
Yeah, we was in the process of buying a house, and actually we went in to close. We got ready to close one day, and we found out our daughter had cancer the next day. No, the same day. We found out our daughter had cancer, so we had to decide what we're going to go on through with the house. What are we going to do? So we decided to go ahead and buy the house. Well, for the next 2 years, we went back and forth to Durham with our daughter, you know, fighting cancer. And then when she came up and died in 92, now that was rough, you know, for us. It took a lot of praying and believing in God and accepting death. Because you never think you were going to bury your child, you know, especially back then. And so we just got together and we prayed and besides, we had other people in the house, not just our family. We had other people coming in. So we kept my dad for 13 years, and he wasn't out an easy test. I had to take my house back from my dad.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny, but
he told me he was saying bad things. Mom, Alberta said, "Boys, why don't y'all sit downstairs with your grandfather? Mama, he didn't like us. He cusses and stuff at us." I said, whoa, no, we can't have that. So I had to go down and set a word with him. And so
had a word with him.
Yeah, so he messed around and said something about that woman on the up there. And I said, whoa, wait a minute, that woman is my wife. I said, don't make me have to choose. If you do, you're going to lose, Doc. That woman is trying to cook for you and everything. My daughter was sick and all, and the boys don't want to be with you, and you're going to talk about my woman? No, we ain't having that.
So, as Rufus was saying, that was funny, but at the diversity, I mean, you know, that we went through some things. We not only lost our daughter, she was the oldest. She was 17 when she contracted cancer, and it was bone cancer, osteosarcoma in her leg. She actually had her leg amputated
the week before she graduated from, she graduated from, I thought high school. But she graduated from Reynolds High School, and she went on to Forsyth Tech and graduated from there. But then we lost her, and we lost her in 92. 92. We lost her in 92. But 6 months earlier, I lost my mom. And so I'm just trying to deal with my daughter. We're dealing with my daughter with cancer, and then we're losing my mom around Thanksgiving. Actually, day before Thanksgiving, they called us down Durham and said, we need to get back because they found something in her test that they done. And I told them, I said, I ain't coming back. I said, I'll be back the Friday after Thanksgiving, but we're going to spend Thanksgiving together. So we went down there. And you never want to hear a doctor say that there's nothing else they could do. No more tests, no more drugs, no more nothing, they can do. And we have to, this is a girl that's 20 and passing. It took all of us, we got to a state where Rufus and I, we look at each other and we felt like we couldn't talk because I saw him hurting. He saw me hurting. I pulled on, at that time, I talked with my pastor a lot, and other people, but I cried. And our basic thing was I stayed in the Lord's lap so much. But not only us, our two boys that were still here was also going through. We was in a house of grieving. And it was the help of God that brought us through. That's who we depended on. I mean, at one time, we couldn't even talk to each other because he didn't want to hurt my feelings and I didn't want to hurt his feelings. But because we were going through the same thing, but we realized after a while, it's that we were going through that helped us to draw together and pull on our faith. And then in 2013, we lost our son. And we actually found him. He had passed in his house at night. Now that one was something.
And he had 5 kids, and all of them were still in school. And his wife had left him.
Yeah, it was.
And so
I was there for that one, y'all. And it was one of those. Go ahead, Dick.
We had to go back to going to track practice,
school practice.
School,
right?
Kids from school, taking them to school.
Right.
We had to go.
And I was still working. Rufus was out, but I was still working.
PTA meetings and stuff for 5 kids. And we went to Florida track meets and stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute, I done retired.
Yeah. The principal wouldn't call their mom. The principal would call us. They said, we're going to talk to your grandparents. They called us and said, we want y'all on this committee. We want y'all to come in that committee. We want y'all. I said, wait a minute. I done raised all my children. They done went all of them through college and everything. And now I'm going back to school and we're doing all of that. But truthfully, I mean, I don't want to pull nobody down, but if it was not for our relationship with God, if it was not for what we had, we would not be together today.
That's right.
But that was some of the hardest things that we had to do. I mean, even now, I look at stuff and people think, tragedy. I'm thinking, okay.
Get in your car and ride. We go, say, hey, baby, let's go to the beach. Okay. Yeah. We take off and go to the beach for a couple of days, and people say, how was that water? We say, oh, no. We looked at it.
I just went to the beach.
We just went to the beach. They say, you mean you went to the beach and didn't get in the water?
No, we didn't
go to the beach to get in the water. We just want to get away from people for a while. And we just went and enjoyed each other.
That was our solitude, yeah.
And we do that now, today.
We get away and enjoy each other. We sneak away in the middle of the week when everybody else is working. But that always helped me on third shift. I found out that we can take off you know, on a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we would leave Bishop. We would leave after Bible study on Wednesday night.
Yep.
Head down to the beach. We'll stay there. We come back on a Saturday and be in church on Sunday
Be in
morning.
church on
all
Sunday.
refreshed and ready to go. You know, that God blessed us with a place at the beach that we could go and relax. And he blessed us with that. And that was, we'd go down there and I could sit on the porch and I'd talk with him and I'd read and we just be together and we just relax and sleep. And it was just something about that. But it was absolutely couples, let me tell you, if you don't have a relationship with the Lord, doing a marriage, it was a communication, because I have known people who actually tore a marriage up because they lost a child.
Oh, yeah.
They lost a child and couldn't get over the fact that I was looking at something today and the lady walked away from her husband because she said, every time I see you, I see my child and I can't stand that.
Right. Yeah.
We had to realize that we can pull on God and he can heal our wounds.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know the other couples, I know we have all had adversities, but I just wanted to bring that one adversity to show you all that that is this whole thing really is glued by God, and that you really gotta, pull him into every situation if you can. I'm on shift, and I know we can talk about adversities, but I'm on shift because I don't want to take up a lot of your time, because folk got children and folk got to go to work tomorrow, and some people got to go to work tomorrow. The older saints ain't got to do nothing but just wake up in the morning and have a cup of coffee and whatever that is. But now here is a question. Lori, do you know your husband's dream vacation destination? Hezekiah, do you know Lori's dream vacation destination? Have you been there, or are you working to get there? First of all, do you know what the other person, where they want to go? And Lindsays, y'all go ahead and get your face fixed and go ahead. Y'all already know. Go ahead, Lori. You.
Well, I laugh because when they were talking about going to the beach and not getting in the water, that's him. Like, we went to Miami last weekend, and I'm like, take the shoes off, take the shirt off, whatever. But he's just fine, relaxing. But I'm like wanting to go dive in head first. So, but yeah, I like, for him, I feel like, I don't know, maybe Vegas or something. Like, I don't know, like maybe
he done scrunched up his nose. I don't
know. Like, he doesn't really.
Lord, that's your homework. You got to find out what is his. I
don't know, because let's say he's not really like a beach. I mean, he'll go to the beach, but he's not getting in the ocean and getting in the water.
I'll go. I just don't. I don't really care to go to the beach and sit out on the beach.
He don't like sand, getting in his toes.
Burning up.
So that's why I say. But then he hates cold weather. So I'm like, what do you say, Vegas? I'm like, I don't know.
I like to do
maybe Jamaica. How about Jamaica?
But to me, I've been to Jamaica.
He's been to Jamaica like 9 times, though. Jamaica, I don't know.
What I'm saying is to just go sit on the beach, to me, that's boring. Like, to me, I mean, it's relaxing, but it's, But anyway, Fiji for her. I know she wants to go to Fiji. Have we been? No. Will we ever go? We'll see.
Yeah, we got to work on it.
We're gonna work on it.
You got to work on it.
Working hard so we can get there. How about that?
You got to keep working hard and buying those 8-year-old cars. Don't buy no new. Lindsays, what's your dream vacation? First of all, do you know, and have you been, or are you working to get there? Do you know? You don't know?
I don't think we really have a dream spot. We were talking about going to Hawaii just because I think it's beautiful, but I'm the same way. Like, the beach, that's just way too much. I don't want to play in that much water. But we talked about going to Hawaii. We at one point were making plans to go. Unfortunately, Tony had a pulmonary embolism, And so we changed our plans because of the flight. So that is something that I would still like for us to do. But I think the best vacation we have ever had was on a cruise, which I would not have expected. And I think I enjoyed it so much because he was able to actually relax. Every time we go somewhere to drive us around, we have to walk around, we got to find somewhere to park, we got to pay to park. But on that cruise ship, everybody could kind of do their own thing, and he could say, I'm going to go to the room for a minute. It was the first time I've really seen my husband have an opportunity to relax on a vacation. Probably one of the best, I would say. So dream vacation, what you got?
My daughter, her name is London. So
yeah.
we talked about going to London, taking her to London. I guess that'll probably be her dream vacation, but
yeah.
We put that on our bucket list, and I'm sure God sees fit. The vacation was the cruise that was major, like I said, for me. And anytime she gets to travel and gets to relax and enjoy, that does my heart good right there, because she grinds a lot, so she deserves that time. So anytime I can take her somewhere where she can rest and relax and enjoy it, if it's the first time or a repeat vacation, it don't matter for me. Just as long as we can both get some downtime, she can get some time and relax, because then she comes back home, that means she can be the best wife, the best she can be. Anytime we get to do that, hey, we appreciate it. So, but
that's good.
Yeah, but that bucket list open.
Now, do you all have a dream place that you? Because I know you all have been around the world, and
Well, right before Alberta retired, we were saving up to go to Hawaii.
That was my dream.
Oh, that's right.
Because when she retired, she wanted to go to Hawaii, but we had started saving up for it. But our kids found out about it, and they sent us to Hawaii. So we got all expense paid trip to Hawaii. And I told him, I said, wait a minute, I retired.
Good kids.
I said, you ain't
boys. I did 2 boys.
I said, I retired. He said, well, you go with them and pay for a dinner.
I mean, they paid for flight there and back. They paid for hotel. Everything. We was there for 10 days. That was my dream trip.
Oh, good.
We stayed in Waikiki for 7 days, but we toured Honolulu, and we went to Pearl Harbor and all over there. But our 50th wedding anniversary, she wanted a cruise, and we took a cruise on our 50th wedding anniversary.
Oh, good.
2 years ago. We'll be 2 years this year.
Yeah. Grand Turk Island.
Grand Turk Islands and all of
that. And so I think, but Rufus's dream destiny is not really one place. I think we always talked about we want to hit all 50 states before we leave, some type of way. We've covered the Eastern Coast, and we've been out to Texas and all of that, but and we've been down in New Mexico area, but we still got some states we got to hit. So that's basically our dream. But we're gonna hit all 50 states.
I got 24 of them. And I got 24 of them, and it don't count if you don't spend the night. You have to spend the night and wake up in that state. And so I've done 24, and I still, but I don't have no reason to go to North Dakota, South Dakota, Idaho. I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do there, because
Well, just go through there and stop and eat, and then keep going. Stop and eat and keep going.
I don't know if there's a lot of me out there, so I don't know about North Dakota, South Dakota, stuff like that. But
go to a McDonald's, grab your sandwich, and say, "I stayed in North." Don't put a message down.
Okay. I have kept you all. Look, we can talk really all night long, and so I'm really going to start with Hezekiah and Lori, and thank you all so much for joining me. What is a successful marriage to you? What does it look like to you?
To me, I would say a successful marriage, what it looks like for me is two people that tries their best. That's what I'm gonna say, try their best, because like I said, it's not perfect, but try their best to be on one accord, be fair to one another, be respectful to one another, honor one another. To me, that's risk because I feel like if you cover all of those things, everything else should work out. That's just my belief.
That's it. Lori, do you have one?
I think a successful marriage is a continued marriage. I think like, the fact that you continue to show up, you continue not to give up, you continue to give your all, you continue, you press on.
It's good, Lori.
Yeah, I think that's what success looks like. People who throw in the towel take the easy route out sometimes. So I feel like that's what success is.
Good deal. Therese?
Yeah, I think for me it's first of all, I think a Christ-centered marriage is so necessary. Because there are some things, I mean, we made that commitment, we realized that it was not just about each other. And so a successful marriage for me, Bishop, is that are willing to put the other person's needs before their own. When I listen to Tony, I listen for what he needs from me for me to be a successful wife. And when he listens to me, he listens for the same. Now, do we always get it right? Absolutely not. But that's the path that we're on. We're working hard to try and understand the needs of the other person. And I think if you do that, you can't go wrong. And I mean, that's a lot of prayer. Remember the book, Power of a Praying Wife? One of the things that she talks about in that book is how her prayer was the same three words, Lord, change him. And then one day she realized it needed to be Lord, change me. And I think that sometimes it's got to be Lord, change me, even if it's only so I can deal with him until you finish fixing him. So that's what I would say. I think it's about, listen for the need of the other person.
Tony?
Yeah, I'll just piggyback on that and say that that two people, need to be a team, and two people that can be there for one another. I think that's one of the most important things.
I lost them again. They went away. They went away. They went away.
Yeah, you go. You're there. All right. So I have to be willing just to be there for one another and be there in one another's corner sometimes, as a cheerleader, pick them up because it's gonna be some up days.
Oh yeah, that
stick and stay encourage and lift one another up.
Good deal. Pastor Alberta, what is success to you? What is a successful marriage?
Well, successful marriage to me is, like you said, being able to communicate to each other. When we went into the marriage, I went into it with the fact that we're going to be married to death do us part. When I took those vows, I was serious about what I was saying. And I went into it, this is, we're going to make this thing work. I bless God that I had a mate that believed that too, that we was trying to make it work. Through all the stuff we went through, we worked things out. One of my prayers is, when I pray, is that, Father, help me to be the help me that he needs. It's not just what I need, but what he needs to honor him, to always make him feel like he is the head of the house. And I've always referred to him as that, that has nothing to do with, titles or what I've done or what. It's him being in the head of our household. And I feel like in God, as God being in the marriage, because he always say he wasn't saved when we first got married, but he knew the Lord, and he knew the word, and God was going to get him there, so it was all right. So I believe God first, us being able to communicate each other and love, truly loving each other.
Dee, what is it?
Young. Now I look back on my life and I see, she said that I wasn't saved when we got married, but
he wasn't
look
saved.
back on my life. That's when God was carrying me. He when you see the one footprint in the sand, he was carrying me. But I learned to love my wife, and I want to give her everything that she needed to be successful in any way I could. And I couldn't do all the giving and no taking. It is a give and take situation. And so I had learned that. And again, I like not be angry with my wife for no reason. Because, again, I don't want to hurt her. And then she want to leave for any reason. I've done told her if she leaves me, I'm going to leave me too. I'm going to turn around when she go out the door. I'm going to say, bye, you, Rufus. But I'm going with her.
He crazy. That's why I love him, so he crazy.
Listen, thank you all so much. Lori and Hezekiah, tell us a little bit about your business, and then we're going to have parting words. But I thank you all so much. Tell me where your business is and how people can support what you do and all that good stuff, you know, popcorn and all that good stuff.
Okay, we are located downtown Greensboro. We're at 412 East Market Street, and our website is Something Borrowed, and borrowed is spelled BAR, like candy bar, OWED, somethingborrowed.com, and it should be. I think I just saw it pop up in the comments. So yes, please come by and check us out. We sell gourmet popcorn. We have 25 different flavors. Right. We also sell candy apples, sweet treats, and you can rent our space out for any special. Oh yeah, and follow us on Facebook, Something Borrowed, and we're also on Instagram, Something Borrowed.
Yep.
So yes.
Listen, thank you all so much for joining me tonight. I know it was a little bit, we had a little technical issues, but I thank God for you all. And there is no way with these couples, there's absolutely no way we can cover everything. We have to come back next week and do it again. And then we have to come back another week to do it again, to talk about stuff, because marriage to me is if there are going to be, I know of two things that are going to be transitional in your life, and that is marriage and that is children. Those will be the two most difficult things, I think, personally, that you're going to do in life, because it requires constant work. It's constant. It is constant. And I love, I'm going to leave off with Lori with that comment that it's continual. You have to be in a state of continuality or continuous movement to figure out how to do this thing. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate your wisdom.
Thank you.
Y'all be good. We y'all be strong. What's up, good peoples? What's up? Look at it. Hey, what's going on, young blood? And y'all, my daughter is somewhere. She would have been down here already now. So I appreciate you all. Lindsays and Q3s, you know, I love y'all. Hezekiah and Lori, I'm getting ready. I'm loving y'all. I'm loving what y'all do.
Yes.
If anything y'all need from my giftedness, it's yours. Y'all be blessed. Hey, y'all, this has been Behind the Veil. Stephen Williams here. They called me the good bishop. And so this was just a conversation on what happens after you do. Realizing there is no way we covered everything tonight, but I hope you have enjoyed yourselves. And until our next appointed time, y'all just hang out with me, and we'll see each other on tomorrow for Bible study. And next Tuesday, we're going to have the famous coon, Calvin Napper. He's going to be our guest next week to talk about being successful in the industry, in his musical life. And so please, ma'am, please, sir, join us next week for Calvin Napper. I love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me.
Thank you.
Play some music, but I can't. And so we'll see you until next time. Thank you for Behind the Veil.
Bye, Bishop.
Bye.